आपने ये कभी ना कभी तो सुना होगा कि डेथ बेड विजन्स लोगों को आते हैं, यानी कि जब कोई इंसान मरने वाला है उस वक्त वो बोलता है कि मुझे कोई लेने आया है, फरिश्ते लेने आए हैं, या फिर कोई लव्ड वन जो ऑलरेडी पास हो चुका है, जो अर्थ प्लेन को छोड़ चुका है, वो लेने आया है। आमने सामने जो भी लोग बैठे होते हैं वो हैरानी से सोचते हैं कि ऐसे कैसे, ये हेलुसिनेट तो नहीं कर रहा। बट ये चीजें प्रूफ देती हैं कि देयर इज लाइफ आफ्टर डेथ। कई बार जो इंसान ट्रांसिट करने जाने वाला है, जो इंसान इस लाइफ को छोड़ के स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में जाने वाला होता है, वो ये बात कहता है कि सामने वाला मुझे लेने आया है। सपोजिटली कोई इंसान मुझे लेने आया है, अब मेरे जाने का टाइम आ चुका है। पर उस इंसान को जो कि अपनी बॉडी छोड़ने वाला है, जो ये चीजें औरों से बोल रहा है, उस इंसान को ये नहीं मालूम होता कि जो उसे लेने आया है वो ऑलरेडी पास ऑन हो चुका है, यानी कि उसकी भी डेथ हो चुकी है पास्ट में। ऐसे बहुत सारी रिसर्च हुई है जहां पे पहले ही किसी ने बता दिया है कि कोई उन्हें लेने आया है टू हेल्प दैट सोल रीच द स्पिरिचुअल प्लेन स्मूथली। हमें कोई लेने क्यों आता है? ह्यूमन बर्थ एक टेम्पररी बर्थ है। हम इंसान बनकर आते हैं, हम एक सोल लेकर आते हैं अपने साथ। जो हमारी सोल है वो बॉडी चूज करती है, वो बर्थ लेती है, और उसके बाद वो जो पूरा सिनेरियो हम कहते हैं ना दुनिया की इल्यूजन है, हमें यहाँ पे टेम्पररी जीना है, इसलिए जितने मोमेंट से खुश होके जिए। वाई? बिकॉज हमारा असली कॉज, हमारा असली जो मकसद है वो है लेसन लर्न करना और ऊपर जाना। जब हम अर्थ प्लेन में आते हैं हम सब चीजें भूल जाते हैं। हमारी जो याद करने की शक्ति होती है कि कहीं ना कहीं हम स्पिरिचुअली लिंक्ड हैं, ऑल्दो हमारे अंदर वो फीलिंग रहेगी, बट विश्वास नहीं करते, वो कहीं डगमगा जाती है। जब हम बॉडी छोड़ने जाते हैं तो वो एक नया टाइप का एक्सपीरियंस होता है, बिकॉज एक शरीर के अंदर सोल को आदत हो गई है। अब सडनली उसको वो सारी चीजें रिवाइव करनी है कि असली जिंदगी तो स्पिरिचुअल प्लेन में थी। इसलिए जब वो बॉडी छोड़ता है तो और सोल्स जो कि या तो लव्ड वंस की हो सकती है, लव्ड वंस भी होंगे जिनकी डेथ ऑलरेडी हो चुकी है, एंसेस्टर्स हो सकते हैं, काफी सारे एंजेलिक बीइंग्स हो सकते हैं जो आपको लेने आए ताकि आपका ट्रांजिशन इजीली हो। आप घबराए नहीं, क्योंकि आपने एक अच्छी जंग लड़ी है दुनिया में आके, अपने लेसन्स लर्न करने के लिए मेहनत करी है। ये स्टोरी है हेदर की, and I have taken this story from this beautiful book Bridging Two Realms by John Holland। तो मैंने ये स्टोरी एज इट इज जैसी वहां पे लिखी थी वही मैं आपके सामने आपको सुनाऊंगी, बिकॉज आई थॉट व्हाई नॉट टू शेयर इट विद एवरीवन। आई थिंक काफी लोगों ने शायद ये स्टोरी नहीं सुनी हो, और मे बी इफ यू वांट टू रीड दिस बुक यू कैन प्रोबेबली बाय इट लेटर ऑन। या सो लेट्स हियर द हेडर स्टोरी इन माय वॉइस।
I read this beautiful real life story from the book Bridging Two Realms by John Holland. Let's hear the story. I have worked in the medical field for years as a nurse. I try to know the ins and outs of the healthcare system, but nothing changes a person as much as when his or her own family members become ill. My mother Mabel and I were out on a Saturday afternoon. By the time we had finished our errands and had driven back to my parents' house, it was almost nightfall. We were both surprised by the sudden darkness and then remembered that we had just turned back the clocks the night before. As I brought in a grocery bag, I called out for my dad, Joseph, to hold the door open, but there was no response. My mother and I looked at each another, wondering what was up. I started to put away the food while Mom went to look for Dad, whom she was sure must be napping in front of the TV. She found the TV on but no Joseph. She checked all the rooms and both the back and the front yards, but he was nowhere to be found. Mom called a few neighbors who hadn't seen him. After an hour, we were both pretty panicked. At the age of 85, my father had stopped driving due to his failing eyesight, and we were afraid that he had attempted to drive. Although we were quickly relieved to see that the car was still in the garage, we couldn't imagine where he had gone or why. Our concern deepened when we saw his wallet sitting on the dresser. Mother called the police, and I drove around the neighborhood searching. 4 frantic hours later, we got a call that an officer had found my father across town and that he seemed confused and wasn't sure where he was. The next few days were filled with doctor's appointments to confirm what we suspected, namely that Dad had Alzheimer. My mom, of course, had realized that her husband was getting older, but when she noticed the odd little things he did, she would say, "No one in their 80s is a rocket scientist." Even so, she never expected him to wander away and forget where he lived. After the diagnosis, we found ways to make sure he was never alone and even replaced the locks so that you needed keys to get in and out of the house. Family and friends also pitched in during the day if my mom had to go out and I was working. As if things weren't hard enough, my mother began to have stomach problems and was feeling very fatigued. Now I was dealing with 2 elderly parents in declining health. On top of my father's having Alzheimer's, Mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I soon found that juggling my job as a nurse and caring for my own children as well as my ailing parents was more than I could handle. But quitting my work wasn't an option. My co-workers had been mentioning for a while that perhaps it was time to put my dad in a facility, and even though I had resisted the idea at first, it now seemed like my options were dwindling. So my parents and I began looking at nursing homes and found Sunset Gardens, which was a really nice place. Dad was content as this facility had a perfect mixture of comfort and security. After all, he was still a strong man in otherwise good health. It was a blessing that the move was surprisingly uneventful. Mom was more upset about living apart from her husband, so when she wasn't at her own doctor's appointments, she was there at Sunset Gardens with him. At 81-year-old, my mother decided not to go any chemo or other aggressive treatments, preferring to let nature take its course. The doctors told her that she probably had a year or so, but no one expected her to suddenly fall on the way to the bathroom one day and break her hip. After a lengthy hospital stay, she now required around-the-clock care. Since her needs were different from my dad's, however, she ended up in a separate facility. I was now shuttling between my kids' school, my job, and 2 nursing homes. For my mom, things quickly went from bad to worse. After the broken hip came a urinary tract infection, then a respiratory infection. As her illnesses escalated, I was getting over to see my father less and less. Other family members would make sure he had a visit at least 2 or 3 times a week, even though at this point he was no longer recognizing loved ones. Mom's doctor sat the rest of the family and me down and explained that there was just too many things going wrong with her body at once. Yet returning to the hospital for more testing didn't make sense. While we agreed, we ultimately left the decision to Mom. She said, "I have lived over 8 decades. I can't complain too much. It's just my time." I was searching for a way for my parents to be together, but my mother's facility didn't accept Alzheimer's patients, while my parents only accepted patients with Alzheimer's and dementia. We were unsure if we would even tell him how bad Mum was doing because there was basically nothing he could do. We had hoped to find a way to get him out for a few hours to see his wife when the call came that Mom's condition had worsened. Her blood pressure was dropping and her heart rate was increasing. That evening, my family and I sat by my mom, who was still very alert, but her breathing was more audible than usual. She suddenly looked up and said, "Joseph died. Why didn't anyone tell me this?" I jumped in and quickly corrected her. "Mom, Daddy isn't dead. He's still in the nursing home." Startled by her statement, I suddenly realized that I should better find a way to get Dad over here. We were afraid that my mom was beginning to lose her faculties and we wanted her to see her husband while she could still talk to him. "Mom," I said, "we will see if the nursing home will let us pick Dad so he can visit." I nodded to my cousin Jackie to call the nursing home to make arrangements for one of us to get him. "Joseph already came to say goodbye," Mom insisted. and he told me that I would be with him soon. We all just looked at each other, acknowledging that my mother was hallucinating. I gently repeated, Mom, Dad is in the nursing home. We are going to bring him here. Once again, she repeated, No, he's dead. But this time she also sat up. Look, there he is. She seemed to be gazing past everybody, and then she said, Joseph, you came back for me? Her eyes filled with tears and she lay back on the bed. Just then, a nurse and my cousin motioned for me to come over and talk to them at the nurse's station. I met them just outside the door when Jackie said, Heather, I don't know how to tell you this. I called the nursing home and Joseph died about 15 minutes ago. He had a heart attack. Mom died 2 days later. Even though I hadn't seen the vision of my father, I found great comfort in the fact that he had come to my mother and now they were together again. Since my parents are gone, I rarely tell this story, but it feels as if I went from a medical nightmare to the universe stepping in, allowing mom and dad to pass away peacefully with each other. I admit that it's beyond my understanding, but I believe I had a special glimpse into a world rarely seen.